Hey, what's up guys? This is Seth Kniep, Keeping It Real. I had a really cool interview with someone on the West Coast. He is part of a master's business administration programs, going to school there, and they wanted to interview some entrepreneurs and ask them some of the questions about how they found the success they found, what were some of the problems and obstacles they went through, what was it like transitioning, working from a company to working for yourself. And one of the questions that really struck me, I thought was really good, is what went on inside of you when you decided to transition from working for a company, the richest company in the world, as a matter of fact, Apple, to becoming your own boss. And let me say, it was a lot more than the fact that I make more in a single day than I made in a month on full-time salary as a manager of a tech support team at Apple. I don't say that to sound badass, I say that because there's a lot more to it than that. Something has to happen on the inside, in here, in your chest. Something has to happen on the inside that churns like an engine, and all of a sudden you realize, I am so freaking done, and fill in all the epithets you want right there, with living like this. And there were 3 moments of transition in my life and in my wife's life together as a team that we went through to get to the point where I can say I have freedom to do the things I love with the people I love, and I absolutely love what I do. Number 1, bounce checks. I'm not ashamed to say it, but we had lots of bounce checks. Well, we'd send a check out, we were hoping, oh, it takes a week to process or a couple weeks, we'll have enough money in the bank account by then. I sucked at managing finances, and boom, we get this $27 charge from the credit union because we didn't have enough money in our account to pay for it. That made me so pissed off at myself. This was my fault. It wasn't the bank's fault. It wasn't the company we're paying for. Oh, you charge too much. Or society's fault. Oh, society's too mean to me, and how come I'm screwed over and all the rich people, they take all the money. That's a bunch of BS. Those people who think like that will stay poor and broke. No, it was my fault. It was because I didn't do something to make a difference. I didn't think smart, think far ahead enough, work hard enough, and really make decisions to change what needed to change, because I was too inadequate, I was too afraid, there were too many fears inside, I didn't want the risk. And so something inside of me had to change. I had to get angry, I had to get disgusted. I was disgusted with myself, I was disgusted with the way I was living, and I didn't want to live that way anymore. I was done. It had to be over. Something had to change. I'm trying to cover this up so the wind doesn't make a sound like the cell phone. Can't hear you. Number 2, big transition in my life wasn't just bounce checks. It was working for Apple. Now let me explain. I love Apple. I love their computers. I love the company. I'm not saying that to give them some kind of praise. It's true. I like the company. But the particular department I was in, the team that I was on, the manager who was managing me, did not know how to manage people. And as a result, there was a ton of butt-kissing, political hogwash, if you want to use that word. That's a funny word. Just a bunch of BS going on. It was almost incestuous, guys. Like, everyone's trying to step on everyone's shoulders to rise up and be the next area manager or the next senior area manager or get to talk to Tim Cooks. It was so full of name dropping and who knows who, and we weren't about the customer, at least not on our team. Some of my fellow teammates were, and they ended up leaving the company. They were so frustrated with the management. But it wasn't about the customer, and it wasn't about making money. What is the purpose of a company? It's to make money. Let's be honest, let's be real. There's nothing wrong with that. But it wasn't to these people, not a lot of the management. It was about how we need to promote ourselves, and people would do things and they would risk your own reputation to cover their butt for mistakes they made, to a point where one of my managers shamed me publicly, and I had done absolutely nothing wrong. I was so angry, I had to literally take another application on the screen and put it over her face because I felt so just disgusted. I couldn't even look at her. And as soon as that call was done, I turned to my wife. She was right there, and she could feel the pain for me. I said, you know what, Kimberly? We are living life in a new way. I'm done. We're finding a new way. I started reading Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek book, started being impacted by that, started reading other books, started calling manufacturers. I called manufacturers every single day. I had a spreadsheet. As crazy as this sounds, I had a spreadsheet, and I would just call these suppliers. I'd find them on Google. Hey, tell me what is your best three top best-selling products right now in the US. And the number one answer I kept getting was vapes. You know those replacements for cigarettes? Vapes. This e-liquid, e-juice, according to research, is much more healthy for you than cigarette smoke, which I still believe, and there's debate about that. That's another political thing going on for different reasons, money and taxes and all that. You gotta love the world we live in sometimes. But it was a great business opportunity, and it helped people. As someone who used to smoke a pipe, pipes are way better for you than cigarettes. And my grandfather smoked a pipe, and he looked pretty cool, badass doing it as a German, smoking that pipe. But I realized it wasn't healthy, and I realized I could do something to help others. And we were helping people to get off of smoking, and they felt so much better, coughing less. And I sold my company for a whopping, ready for it? $35. 35 bucks. We'll talk about success. My first company, I sold it for $35. Guess what the emotion was after that? Discouragement. Discouragement. I didn't just have anger and disgust from the other situations I told you about. I was discouraged. And that discouragement was good for me. It was exactly what I needed because it did something inside me and said, you know what? Am I committed to this for momentary success, for a quick buck? Or am I willing to do what it takes to change my freaking life, to build a future for my wife, for my kids, for my family? And that's when I realized, yeah, this is gonna change. I don't care. Okay, $35, woohoo! We made some money, let's go. Let's hit it again. And that's when I started doubling my dime. You know how stupid I felt sometimes walking around downtown in the city? Hey, I got a dime here. Will you double it for me? And they look at me like, what the, are you okay? Well, hey, listen, this is what I want to tell you. If I double this dime if I just double it 20 times, how much money do you think it'll be? Oh, maybe $500? No, 100,000. No, you're kidding me. No, I'm serious, $100,000. You double a dime 20 times, it's $100,000. You serious? Yeah. Come on, man. Look, I want to be able to tell a story someday. How I started, I'm in debt. I hate my job. But if I can double this dime 20 times, I can tell this story to other people. Will you help me? And a lot of the people would say yes. And some people would say no. Some people would laugh. But every time I did it, I felt stupid. I felt embarrassed. I felt like, you know, this resistance, like, what am I doing? But you know what? Something deep inside me told me this is going to work. And I had faith and I believed I could make a difference. I got to turn this way because the wind it's getting really windy out here. And so that's what I did. I doubled it until I got to $400. Then I invested that in inventory, started selling on eBay, then Amazon. We cleaned house, guys, literally. We went through the house, we as in me and my wife, my best friend. We just sold everything that we didn't need and took that money and kept investing, kept doing it until we got to $100,000. And then that became $1 million, and then that became much more. So, negative emotions are good. In Western culture, there's this mentality that there's something wrong with the negative emotion. No, there's not. Negative emotion is not bad. In fact, it's not really negative. It hurts. The question is, how do you channel it? If you are considering being an entrepreneur because you're just kind of thinking about it, I'm going to dabble, I'm going to check it out, I'm going to stick my toe in the pool. Yeah, it'd be kind of sort of a cool idea. I'd like that. Don't do it because you'll hate it. Because you have to risk a lot, you're going to suffer a lot, and some nights you work all night to make it happen. But if you do it right and you do it smart, your company will work for you. That's why I'm a little bit richer after going to sleep last night, because Amazon continues to sell my products and drop money into our bank account. That is living a dream. That's amazing to me. That opportunity makes all the risks of selling on Amazon and the frustrating parts of selling on Amazon completely worth it. So do not look at negative emotion as like that means you're bad or wrong. If you grew up and you were taught by your parents, oh no, don't cry, or don't get angry, wait a minute. I respect people who can cry. I respect people who can be honest about their anger. I don't respect someone who's out of control. But if you can have emotions but channel them in the right way and use them to your advantage, let me tell you, you'll become an unstoppable beast. And that, my friends, is success. I love you guys. Have an awesome day. Bye.